Right. Hello. Good morning. And happy, what's the day? Today is Wednesday. Hello, y'all. Ty Priestess Jamila. I felt like coming on here and talking about this bozo named Mike Mills, who thinks that he's doing something. He thinks that he's changing the game by spewing his curses and negativity all over YouTube. I'm going to start off this discussion by once again saying that, it is advised, unless you have some kind of protection, to not watch his channel at all. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. The only reason why I'm able to watch is because I protect myself, but I don't sit for hours and hours and hours and watch. Pretty sure a bulk and a majority of his audience, however, don't have much going on with their life, and they are the Five of Pentacles. So he's constantly talking about money. Okay, let's talk about the riddle of the day, and then I'm going to get into the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about this morning. Okay. I'll go and check. I don't think it is raining though. Nope, I would have noticed immediately if it were raining. It's just something about that rain that calls me, but I don't think so. I don't think it's raining. It's raining in Houston. Okay, y'all. So let's talk about the riddle of the day before I get into the discussion about Mike. Can a person have $10 million and still be the Five of Pentacles? Which, if you are familiar with the tarot, you know that the Five of Pentacles represents poverty, illness, lack. It can represent lack of confidence. It can represent, um, a lot of people think of it as being left out in the cold. The Five of Pentacles to me um, means that a person is not getting enough from something, or not getting something, or getting what they are supposed to. They lack wisdom. Okay, they lack scruples. It can mean a lot. It depends on how you're looking at it. Okay, it depends on what question you're asking or what information that you're seeking. But when you're talking about money, the Five of Pentacles means lack, pretty much. Okay, and it's often depicted with somebody hanging outside of a church, and they're just like left out in the cold, right? And I think that it means something a lot deeper than what people think. I think it literally stands for people being tied with a religion or a belief system that they either are not getting anything out of, it's not benefiting them. That's what I believe. Okay, but yeah, you can actually have millions of dollars in the bank and still be the Five of Pentacles. Why is that? I mean, we've seen a lot of people that have a lot of money and still be the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, you can still be you can have a lot of money and still be the Five of Pentacles. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of people who have won the lotto. Y'all ever hear about the lotto curse? Where people will win the lottery and they will lose all the money, um, or still be very unhappy, right? Greetings, Shamika. Hello, and hello, Stevan Harris. I meant to say that. Um, Money does not guarantee happiness. It doesn't. I think that happiness is separate than money. And I believe that I don't believe that money is the only source of happiness. In fact, money can make you very unhappy depending on how you got the money, the energy associated with the money. And like, for example, my ex, he didn't really see more than $10,000 at once until his mother passed away. So money for him is associated with mourning, right? If you're a person that has made money, whether or not you were earning that money a little at a time or all at once, you you know he's never had it like that. Money for him is associated with death and loss and mourning. And I do believe that Five of Pentacles is depression. We hear about a lot of people who are multimillionaires and they're still very depressed. Okay. So, yes, you can have $10 million and still be the Five of Pentacles. And then I think that the Five of Pentacles is also connected to the probability that you can have a lot of money, but still, but it's not enough because because of the energy of greed, right? I don't think it's anything wrong with people wanting more. It's so greed and wanting more is two different things. Okay, greed and wanting to have stability in your life is two different things, right? So greed is where no matter what amount of money you have, it's never enough to sustain you or to fulfill you. You still feel, you still don't know yourself. You still don't have that connection with spirit. So you can absolutely have a lot of money and still be the Five of Pentacles. um I wish that I would have articulated that better, but you know what I'm saying. I ain't had my coffee for the day yet, but I'm about to have my coffee. So I want to talk about this fool. I do. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about, you know, I don't see how somebody can expect people, like, at the end of the day, I'm still the one that deserves all the respect in the world, which is why I always get it. His antics and behavior in social media is absolutely ridiculous. And he thinks that he is somehow embarrassing me or fronting on me or representing me in some kind of way, or he is some kind of representation of what my worth is. uh but in reality, he's on his own with that, and even the women that are in his life, they don't want to be alone in having that association with him, right? They are somehow embarrassed by his behavior to the point where they will come on here and have the audacity to claim that I want anything to do with him or that I love him or something or that I'm jealous. I'm sorry. Jealousy is associated when it comes to romance. Jealousy is associated with desire. I have no desire for him. And I think that that's a problem. See, they desire him because whoever he speaks to, whoever he talks to, they desire him because they are the Five of Pentacles. He is the Five of Pentacles. In fact, prior to meeting up with him, I did throw the cards on him. Yes, I did. That's one of the reasons why I always told him no. Years ago, before I met up with him, because he began stalking me on the internet and begging for my attention in 2000 and somewhere between 2012 and 2013. And I felt like I was seeing him before he actually surfaced. um I feel like I was seeing him before he actually surfaced when I was pregnant with Jacob. And I think that he kind of started out with an anti-natalist group. I truly believe that he has something to do with anti-natalism. If you guys don't know what anti-natalism is a group that they feel that people shouldn't have children. Like, they feel that nobody should want to have children because the world is horrible. It's very depressing. And then also the whole consensus of, well, you're born and then you die. So if you guys have ever checked out anti-natalist, To me, I think that these people represent people that are extremely depressed. I feel like all in all, it just equals depression. But I feel that he was sort of associated with that because, as you guys can see, he's the type of person that social media is very dangerous for him. Social media is a source of this influence, especially he gravitates towards the worst, most negative influences ever. Okay, for him. So I think it was probably, I'm gonna be honest with you. He was stalking me back in 2013 on his blog talk radio as well as on YouTube. I didn't really notice this dude until 2015. Um, but then I think I finally decided to throw the cards on him in probably like 2017. When I threw the cards on him, I never forget the cards that I got. I got the Temperance card, I got the Ten of Swords in the inverted position, I got the Five of Pentacles, I got the Nine of Cups inverted. Because I think what I asked was, Spirit guides, what type of energy would this person bring into my life? What would happen? What type of energy would this person provide? And those are the cards that I got. Now, the Temperance is the alcoholism. Okay. I do believe that he is suffering from alcohol related dementia. Okay. Definitely suffering from alcohol related dementia. Okay. But then that Ten of Swords inverted meant that there is apparently a mental illness, and then these negative cycles that he can't overcome. Okay. Meaning that there's a lack of change, there's a lack of growth. Five of Pentacles just means that he's broke. If you guys notice, it's not even normal. Nobody that you would ever want to hang around with would literally get a little bit of money from their mother passing away and behave the way that he behaved. Nobody wants to be around somebody like that. Nobody. Nobody. I don't see how anybody listens to him. He apparently, his audience, it must be something mentally and emotionally wrong with these people, because it's not even the type of conversation that a wealthy or well off or successful person would have, right? Um, so and what was the last card that I talked about? I saw that in the cards though, before I met him. Now, as a witch, am I going to sit up here, any witch, sit up here and say, oh my God, if I hook up with this person, it's going to ruin my life? You can't never look at things like that. He wants to be the source of somebody that ruins somebody's life. Listen, hun, bro, you're depressed. I have an 11-year-old kid. Can you imagine if I were weak enough to allow a loser like him to ruin me, to ruin how I feel, to change how I look at my life? I'd be a damn fool. And I've told him that before. I've said, do you think I'm going to sit up here and let you ruin me and my children's lives? And he said, oh, well, y'all lives are already ruined. I said, no, we're not. I said, no, we're not. I said, your life is ruined, hon. Look at your behavior. Look at how extreme his depression and his sickness is. He's sick. Can you imagine being so hateful and vindictive and diabolical that something as serious as somebody being thrown out of their house, for somebody to come online and call themselves roasting somebody and saying, oh, you're going to be thrown out of your house. You're going to be homeless. Your child. Can you imagine? Like, I have more respect for homeless people than I do that person that would do. Who does that? Who is so who is so much of a low life, of a low life, that they would actually think that something like that is funny? Now, I will tell you that in every state, but for some reason over in Georgia, there's a lot of homeless spirits over in Georgia. So y'all gotta be on the watch out for that. For some reason, I've noticed that most of the people that are in Georgia, they are always talking about how they were homeless and they had to live in their car. I don't I you know I think I think it's got something to do largely with I'm gonna tell y'all what I think is a huge mistake, and I think a huge mistake is people that want to be a part of religion or spiritual associations that do them no good. I think that that is the direct issue. I think that it is a huge mistake for religion or any religion to be forced on an individual person, because that particular religion may not be the best for that person. It may be okay for those people over there and their circumstances, but every religion is not going to be for everybody. And you can't say, oh, well, I'm going to be, I think that the biggest mistake that this world makes is people trying to be associated with a religion for social reasons. You can't do that. You can't say, oh, well, I have to be a part of this religion because my family did, or because this is how I was raised. Okay, ooh, coffee time, y'all. You can't do that. If you're not going to get anything out of that religion, then you're not going to get anything out of it. And I think that people are not very smart when it comes to that. First of all, what deity is associated with Christianity? Jesus Christ, right? Well, Jesus Christ even crunched the numbers for you and told you that he was only going to save 144,000. Now, coincidentally, Jehovah's Witnesses, even thousands of years after Christ, okay, after Christ, they felt like they were the 144,000 that was the chosen ones by Jesus Christ. You got yourself millions of people that are following that religion. So it doesn't make any sense. And it's perfectly fine for any sane and rational person to say that. It's not anything that you have to have fear of. Unfortunately, there are people that are still raising their children and families to believe in that. And I think that the reason why they have such a draw towards folks like me is because a person like me, it's not necessarily that I'm anti-religion. I am. I'm not even gonna lie. Even back in the day, I still wouldn't have been a follower of religion. Even back then, I wouldn't have done it, just simply because of what they saying. It would have. It. Yeah. No. Not me. Um. There's no way I would have read the Bible and read that in this day and age, where when you look at the population of the world, even if Jesus existed in this day and age, he would only be saving 144,000 people. Now, if that were the case, why would his people go out and try to get you to be a follower of Christ, knowing that he would not actually save you. Save you from what? I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is that they say that Jesus is saving you from. The devil, apparently, is what they say that Jesus is supposed to be saving people from. But our only understanding of the devil is movies and Hollywood, things that are made up. A script, a movie script. That's the only thing that we really know about uh, the devil, the so-called devil, right? So that's their whole premise, is saving you from the devil, which, like I said, when you look at it, they program people quite well throughout the years. And I do believe in the existence of, possession by bad spirits. Absolutely. This dude is one of them. Okay. Because nothing that he says ever makes any sense. He tries to make sense. He tries so hard to make himself look intelligent. But at the end of the day, number one, you're online attacking a woman. Number two, you're online attacking a woman and you're not doing anything with your life. Nothing with your life. In fact, for years while I was building my company, my brand built, and my brand is my reviews. My brand is not him. My brand is the reputation that I have based upon clients and people that have had my services. Okay. As a reader and as a practitioner, as a witch. That's my brand, not him. You don't have nothing to do with that. Okay. People that are doing stuff like that just don't get it. They just don't get it. That's one of the reasons why it's really no need for me to even respond to him. It really isn't. And eventually I won't. I respond to him because I understand that he's very scary. People are afraid of people like him. Why? Why are you afraid of people like him? For years and years, when I was on here making all these videos, if you go back and you look, there are thousands of videos on this channel. If you go back and look down memory lane, for years and years and years, I've been on here doing readings, talking about spiritual stuff, doing my thing. Okay. And what was he doing? He was sitting over there stalking, hawking, and harassing people. He is factually the Five of Pentacles. The only way that I would ever identify with that is if I were him. I don't have to, and neither do you have to identify with somebody like that. I don't have any identification for that person. I personally would not be on here harassing a person. I personally wouldn't do anything, any of the actions and the moves that this dude makes. I would never do it. There's a lot of people on here that do that. A lot of people that have been associated with him. They come on here, they lie on people, they make up rumors, and it's just like, uh, you know, uh, uh what if I started doing that? What if I came on here and just started making up rumors about him? I would be a failure in life like they are. And I'm not a failure. So I don't have to come on here and make up nothing about him. Oh, I heard this, I heard that, and he told me this, and I'm for what? That's not who I am. That's not what I identify as. And it's not enjoyable. If you notice, there's nothing fun or funny or enjoyable about his content unless you are a sad, miserable, depressed person. Then you may enjoy his content. If you're somebody that watches his content You're not betraying me, you're betraying yourself. Because a part of that Five of Pentacles riddle is, what are you feeding yourself spiritually? He sits over there and, like, literally there's four people in his household, and he's making all this food and he's eating physically, trying to make it seem like he's got plenty and he's abundant. But in reality he's not. He's not abundant because he's missing so much. He's you know his he, so you can sit and eat and eat. He can sit and eat and eat and eat and shove food into his mouth and get fat as a fat rat. He's still the Nine of Cups in the inverted position. Okay, doesn't matter. In fact, he has health problems, I will tell you that. And last night, my spirits told me that he has cancer. He doesn't know it yet, probably, but he has cancer in his brain. So a lot of people are probably wondering what's wrong with him. I tapped into his energy, and he's got cancer of the brain. And that's why he's behaving that way. So I could see it last night that he's got like these lesions on his brain. And, that's what makes him act so stupid. If listen, now my grandmother passed away of brain cancer, right? She had brain and lung cancer. However, my grandmother was a very intelligent woman. So that's not to say that a person that has brain cancer is going to act stupid like that. I mean, he acts like Boo Boo the Fool. I mean, but I can imagine that some people with that diagnosis would. I believe that he has brain cancer. My spirits came to me. I actually connected with a spirit last night called Barbados. And Barbados is the eighth spirit of the lesser key of Solomon. And that spirit actually shared with me that he's got some kind of brain cancer. Okay. And he is probably experiencing symptoms of it. He's not gonna say it that he's experiencing symptoms of this cancer. But that could be the reason why his behavior is so off-putting. And I would have no reason to speak about him. I would have no reason to speak about him if he would stop. Yeah, personality changes is a symptom, Ella. You're absolutely correct. But, his personality has always been that way. However, he did used to be much more of a reasonable person. I remember. He has became very spiteful. He has became very, very, very vindictive. Very vindictive. Just a horrible person. He's become a terrible person. He's worse of a person than he was in social media 10 years ago. He is. And so I don't think that he has very much longer to live, to be honest with you. And that's not something that I'm saying because I'm upset with him, because I'm not upset with him at all. I don't like him. I don't want anything to do with him. But to be upset is two different things. See, I'm a person that's emotionally and mentally and intellectually mature. You can't just wake up every day of your life being upset with someone. Okay. And see, when it comes to spirituality, what we're all searching for constantly is enlightenment, which is understanding. This is somebody that doesn't have any. He literally, while other people have intelligent things to talk about, which I like intelligent conversations, you can be a comedian or somebody that's funny or a fun person to be around and you can still be intelligent. He's over there literally talking about feces, urine, and talking about somebody's children. Like that is the signs of a person that is very unintelligent. And then even when he talks about money, okay, even when he talks about money, even when he talks about legal issues, right? That's one of the reasons why nobody would ever go to him to depend on him for anything. So he's basically saying, well, I'm not intelligent, is what he's saying. He's saying he's not intelligent, especially when it comes to something like landlord tenant law. You can tell he don't have much good sense, and he hasn't had any experience. Landlord tenant law is something that is discussed probably all the time when it comes to your local city government. It is a conversation that is being had on a consistent basis. There are many, many, many attorneys that a person can contact that specializes in landlord tenant law. And the first thing that he'll say when he's doing his smear campaigns is pay your rent, pay your rent, pay your rent. And I'm sitting up here looking at him like, when you're going through a dispute with your landlord, you can't really pay anything. Nobody's going to pay anything, until it's settled within the courts. Even for me, am I sitting here every single day talking about, I got a lawsuit, I want my landlord to pay me? What if I contacted my landlord every day demanding 100 grand or 200 grand or $1 million? Give me some money, pay me some money. No, I'm not dumb like that. So that's why every day I have to get up and I have to run my business. I have to get up every day and run my business. And I have to try to make sure that I am secure, and I have to make those plans or whatever. And we're getting down to the nitty gritty because I will be moving out very soon. In the meantime, I still have to run my business. It's unfortunate what happened between me and this landlord. It's something that the landlord had the power over. Unfortunately, when you rent a house or an apartment, your landlord has that power unless you put it into the hands of the courts. So he's not even intelligent when he speaks about that. He doesn't have anything to offer anybody. Five of Pentacles means, it doesn't mean unrequited love. It means that this person don't have nothing to offer you. If I were to do a reading on somebody that you're thinking about dating, and he gets the Five of Pentacles next to the Ten of Pentacles inverted, or let me think of another card. I would even say I would even say the yeah, Five of Pentacles. I would say this man don't have nothing to offer you. And it don't even have nothing to do with money. If he were the Six of Pentacles, he would have plenty to offer. That would mean that a person knows about give and receive. But the Five of Pentacles, that's the card that I got on him. And so what? He act like it's supposed to be life altering or life changing. He's sitting over there literally dying of brain cancer, like right now. He does have sons. I think he's supposed to have three sons. Even though none of those children that he has, to me, even resemble him. Like I call bull crap on his so-called children. I do. Um, you don't see any interaction with them. You don't see any type of interaction. I think that he's their uncle, personally. Um, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing about it. Trust me, somebody like him, I take it very seriously. I've already put the work into place to where he can't do anything to affect us, like he has not affected us. He wants to convince the public. Can you imagine being somebody that is so ignorant that you're trying to convince the public that you somehow ruined a person's career and that you're the reason why they're going through their issues with their landlord? And he's not. He's not. Like I said, my landlord is not just some run of the mill private owner. My landlord is a high powered investor over in California. I'm gonna tell you something. If the owner of this house was a private person, the outcome would have been different. You know, a high powered investor, some of them, can you be a high powered investment company and be the five of pentacles? Absolutely you can. I look at my landlord as the five of pentacles. Absolutely you can be. Because most people are going to know the value in taking care of their property, especially it's actually pretty much, well, it's the law. You can't just leave things undone for years because you bring down the property value. Um, I am looking forward to moving, unfortunately, because, when you look at the outside, the exterior of the property, you can tell by driving by. I imagine that this house is an eyesore for the rest of the neighborhood. Does that reflect on me? No, it doesn't. Reflects on the owners. I'm renting. And you think that the neighborhood association does not recognize this landlord as being somebody, and it's been like that for years. It's not like it just got like that, and it's not like it's my fault. It's been like that for the longest. And it doesn't just need paint, it needs structural repair right at the front of the house. The gutters need to be replaced. Hey, pretty Phoenix. Hello, sweetie. How are you today? You know what I mean? And my landlord, if you go and look at their website, they bragging about being multimillionaires. That might be cap. That might be some cap. You know, because if that's the case, why do you not do the upkeep on your properties? When those animals gained access in 2021 to the property, and the reason why it was because there was a bunch of overgrown trees that needed to be cut down. And they did end up coming and trimming the trees in 2023. So they a day late and a dollar short. The damage is already done. Does that have to reflect poorly on my business? No, it doesn't. It doesn't reflect poorly on my business. In fact, my business it's not centered around the structure necessarily of the business of the building that I'm at. However, it is against city, county, and state law for them to be negligent of their properties. I have a lot to do. I have to well, first of all, we're going to start packing up um very soon. Just like I've got a lot of organizing to do, so I gotta make sure that that is done because it's going to take quite a bit of work to go ahead and pack everything up. um but I've got to file a petition with the court to remove the blemish, the eviction off of my record, which I absolutely can, due to the circumstances of the landlord being so negligent. By law, I can petition the court to have that removed. Absolutely. And it is going to be removed. So I'll be able to even go out and rent somewhere else, another place. So it's something that, like, in general, if you were to come to me and you were to say, Jamila, I'm having issues and I'm having problems with this landlord, or if you want to call him a slumlord, it's okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say, you know what, it's gonna be okay. This is what you do, X, Y, and Z. You don't have to feel as though just because you ran into a bad landlord that your whole life is ruined. Who looks at it that way? I remember and I do look at him as a corrupt judge. He told everybody in the courtroom once, because I've actually seen him more than once in court. He said, and if you come to me and ask me to take the eviction off your record, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. And so I was peeping him out, and I said, oh, I got to report him to the board, because if you have a negligent landlord that is that negligent, and you end up with an eviction on your record because this landlord created financial distress or mental distress or physical distress in some kind of way, or either they filed a retaliatory eviction against you, you have every right to petition the court to have that removed. In fact, you can have a case like that dismissed. I'm not even an attorney, and I know that fact. And so, how can a judge be so unlawful and not tell the public what their actual rights are? Why? What's wrong with this person? And I actually filed a complaint with the disciplinary board against that person, because that needs to be brought to attention. Because landlords that are doing that, they shouldn't be allowed. I believe that in the state of Georgia, they shouldn't allow these people to even own properties in the state of Georgia, this company. So people like me are very important, somebody that's going to stand up and fight, because I'm fighting for what's right. For the people. And these corporations shouldn't be allowed to run amok like that. This is actually a beautiful neighborhood. I love this area. I love the people in this area. The people down the, how they always cracking jokes and laughing about the gas station and me supposedly drinking gas station wine, which is the same wine that you can buy at the grocery store. I don't understand how that's a joke, you know. But anyway, the people that own the gas station down the street, those people are very lovely people. I love my neighborhood and my neighbors, and for this person to just totally disintegrate, like, for example, I've got a reading special. I'm very responsible with my business. I've got a reading special going right now. Why? Because I've got extra things I need to do. I need to cut the grass. I got to keep the grass cut, even though that yard gets quite beautiful. When that grass gets overgrown, because it has these beautiful dandelions, it's so pretty, right? And Ella, I agree. Hey, Jen. Hey, Boo. I do hate it when people cut down trees, but you know what? You do have to cut down trees sometimes, especially if they can pose as a danger to, a dwelling or a house. So, for example, when it rains sometimes, or when it gets too windy, I can actually hear tree limbs falling onto the roof sometimes. Okay, which it's very intriguing. It adds to the intrigue of this house. Um, I think that this house has a probably a reputation of being haunted. To be honest with you, it just looks like one of them witchy houses, and it probably does. But I'm a witch, so I don't have an issue with living in a haunted house. You know what I mean? The spirits in this house really do love me. They don't have an issue with me. But I do think that it would be, um, they claim that they didn't take care of the property. This is their excuse for the codes division, was that the tenant wasn't paying rent. But in reality, when I was paying rent, they were not taking care of this property. What's your excuse then? And then and then they prevented me from properly being able to function. Sure, I can run a business out of here, but to say, oh, I can, this is actually my home. There was a short while where I couldn't barely even use my kitchen. I would literally have to walk into my kitchen and with a fresh bleach bottle. Keep in mind, I went to a medical assistant school. Okay. I went to, it wasn't Concord. It was one of them accelerated education schools. And they taught us that in order to disinfect something, you can't just use the same bleach in your bleach bottle. You have to make fresh bleach water, which is 50% bleach and 50% water, in order to properly disinfect a surface. So every single day, I had to have plenty of bleach. And if you guys remember, it was damn difficult. I had to order bleach through Amazon because during the pandemic, it was very difficult to find bleach. And I'm not talking about, guys, there is a difference between bleach and that stuff that whitens. You got to have, the bottle has to say kills 99.9% of germs. Okay. It has to specifically state that it kills germs. Otherwise, you don't have bleach. You just got something that's going to whiten, right? So I would order bleach. If they didn't have it here, I would get it through Amazon because I wouldn't say I'm a germaphobe, but there was a problem with rodents, with actual rats in this house. And the reason why is because they got in through that hole in the fireplace on the side, and of course they could get in through that hole that's at the top of the house. So when I walked into my kitchen, I would have my bleach bottle in my hand. Every time I cooked, I would have to cleanse the surface of the countertops. I couldn't even use the kitchen to cook food. There was some days that we would just order in because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I would go in my kitchen and there would be rat droppings on the damn counter, and I would be too grossed out to even cook in my kitchen. We would have our dishes sitting on the dining room table, clean dishes that we would be prepared to cook. I couldn't put nothing on my countertops, nothing. And y'all know that rats can pose a health hazard and risk. And I've kept my family healthy through this. We've stayed healthy through that because of me taking the extra effort. Okay, and it's traumatizing. I'm probably gonna still, even when I move into a place that doesn't have these problems, because I've never lived in a house that had these problems ever, ever. I would still probably have my bleach bottle in my hand, spraying down the countertops. Either bleach or Fabuloso is really good too. Okay. And I know you're not supposed to do this, but I would do 50% bleach, 50% water with a splash of Fabuloso in there. You know what I'm saying? I will. I plan on that. I'm currently doing that. I've sent in a demand letter to them, and but um I do need to move. I filed bankruptcy because, there was no way that financially I was ready to move. I don't have any family down here that I can live with, even temporarily. You know what I mean? And most people don't have family that they can live with temporarily. Most people don't. That's the way that's called life. That's why landlords should not be slumlords. You can literally destroy a person's life by being a negligent landlord. That's why it's so serious to me, at least. I take it very seriously. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can either do like your fabuloso with a little bit of bleach, but I like to do the bleach with a little bit of whichever I got handy, because I always get either bleach or fabuloso or both, but I'm always getting those bottles of fabuloso from Dollar Tree. So absolutely, absolutely. And so the city can sue him too. The city can sue them too. You know what I'm saying? And their attorneys can be sued, because somebody that is doing all that stuff, creating this devastation, lowering the property value of the neighborhood, making it difficult. Money has been so scarce for me because of this issue, that because this house is beautiful. Like, if that, like, I would have bought this house. Still interested in buying this house. I wish I could. Do I feel comfortable with doing that, knowing that certain people that live in Georgia know where I live? Not really. And that's so sad that a person can't even buy a property with, and you're such a drag on society that, you know, but the house is gorgeous. It's very spiritually rich. It's beautiful. It's got these beautiful pine trees, a sweet gum tree. This house is gorgeous. Landlord doesn't care about that. Landlord cares about money. And, I don't think that people, okay, so just to let you guys know, I love real estate. I actually used to be a licensed realtor. Part of the reason why I was licensed in real estate is because I love the real estate industry. I love houses, and I love architecture, right? Um, I have a passion for that. And there's no way that I could ever do that. Just, that's just like my business that I run. Okay. Um, I had some people on the internet that was saying, well, why you buying all those candles, huh? You know, uh, because I have to run a business, and I feel so I'm not just gonna take the client money and not actually invest in the items that I need to actually run the business. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So even though running a spiritual business is much, much different than being in real estate, it's a huge responsibility. Both are a huge responsibility. Where are you going to live in KC with your daughters? Um, I am. I've been looking at houses to apply at, but honestly, more than likely, given the circumstances, since I'm making a fast move, I'm not going to say when I'm moving exactly. You shouldn't post that online, but uh more than likely I'm gonna do like a vacation rental property, something like Airbnb, when I first get to Kansas City, because and then I'll find a place. I know how to find a house and a car in Kansas City. I know a lot of people there. I grew up there, so you know what I mean. Yeah, I'd say, Jen, that the cost of living in Kansas City, Missouri is about the same. When I moved to Georgia, um, real estate was actually a lot cheaper here. Depends on what area you're in Kansas City. They've got the more expensive areas in Kansas City, and then they have, the less expensive areas. So, yeah. Did you see my reading? You talking about on TikTok? And Unapologetic Ella says it's better to be private when it comes to home. Yeah. The housing market depends on the economy. So I'd say down there for, because what I'm looking for before I get my house built, because I'm definitely going to get my house built. When I set my sights on having a goal or a dream in life, I'm going to fulfill it, which is going to be the 6 bedroom house with 6 baths and 6 fireplaces. Okay. Because 666 is not the mark of the beast. They always, that's the mark of the beast. Mm, it's actually very powerful numbers in numerology. Um, but what I'm in the market for is a 4 bedroom home. What's good about Kansas City is that there's a lot of houses with finished basements. In Georgia, rarely are you going to find a house with a basement or an attic. See, a lot of the real estate to me in Kansas City is better suited to me and my needs, because you're going to be able to find basements and attics. Because what I would like to do is I need an altar area. I need a workspace. I've never had a proper workspace in this home. You coming to live with me? uh that would be good. You know what I'm saying, Jen? You and the dogs can come, and you got a cat. Your animals are like entertainment just by themselves, Jen. That is just so funny. Um, so what I didn't realize when I moved in here is that the um sunroom is not insulated, which probably should have been something that I moved. Like, that should have been my reason for moving out of this house, because I wasn't able to actually properly work in that sunroom in the wintertime, or when it's cold. You can't really be back there unless you have a space heater. And honestly, it's so not insulated at all that a space heater didn't really make a difference. It was still freezing cold in that room. So, and that would be one thing that would deem the structure uninhabitable, because even with the sunroom doors closed, cold air is still coming straight into the living room. So, and I think that that was something that probably was known about the property that they didn't say to me, because I moved into this house during the month of March. I can imagine that the the person or people that lived here prior to that probably moved out, after a hard winter. Here the winters are harder in this house because it's not properly insulated, and so that means that you're going to have higher than normal light and gas bills. And see, those are things that a courtroom is going to take into consideration. My light bills and my gas bills have been considerably higher, which makes things harder on a person. So these are things that these people knew when they moved me in here, but they moved me in here anyway because they wanted the money. So, and and it's just like not cool at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just not cool. It just wasn't cool. But I've managed to keep this house warm in the winters because it does have a fireplace. So, that's been cool. Um, but, it just, going back to the original topic is that, there are some people that claim that they're real estate experts. That's just like the landlord's attorney. She's got advertised on one of her profiles that she's a fair housing specialist, but yet she's representing these types of people. I just, goodness gracious. You can warm a place like that with an RV heater. I don't know why ADOS guy RVs just kind of, they intrigue me. I would love to have an RV, not just an RV. I need to have a house and an RV. But I'd love to have a recreational vehicle one day. In fact, that would be my travel style is an RV. Jen, you are funny, sister wife. I'm not. Hmm. 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 Yeah, Kansas City is a cool place to live. It's in fact, this person said there's poverty in Kansas City. Do you know anything about the world? Because there's poverty everywhere. There's bad areas everywhere. This person tried to make it seem like Kansas City was a broke city. Honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Living in, it's hyped up for tourism purposes, right? I feel like every city has its tourist attractions. And there's certain places that are known for people wanting to travel there a lot. There's New York, there's Atlanta, and then there's Los Angeles. I've never been to New York. I would like to travel there and visit. Um, and then I've never been to Los Angeles or California. I would visit those places, but to actually live there uh, wouldn't be my type of hype. Okay. And it's really a lot of hype, and I think that everybody hypes up their city or whatever. I personally have love for Atlanta. I have love for all areas, but I don't hate my hometown. And I think that Mike, he hates his hometown, and I wonder why. Why does he have such a hatred for his hometown? I don't have a hatred for where I came from. I already know that I'm going to be blissfully happy when I get back to where I came from because I'll be in a familiar place. And then also, you guys know that I miss the snow, I miss the ice, because they have ice storms there and things of that nature. So, I'm going to enjoy that. Okay. Um, and ice storms are rare, but we do have them back there. So, I don't have an issue with where I came from. In fact, that's not why I moved to Georgia. I wasn't running from nothing. I don't even know why even some of my family made it seem like I was running from something. I wasn't running from anything. I just made the decision that I wanted to live in Georgia for a little while. Then, so I don't understand that. I'm gonna tell you something. Whatever place you live, I think that it should. I think that you should check out. You know, is there a lot of discrimination? Do I feel that there's a lot of discrimination in my hometown? No, I don't. I think that there can be sexism internalized in your family, but I feel that I feel that Kansas City overall is more advanced when it comes to the whole sexism and being progressive when it comes to women. I feel that there are some areas where I've noticed to where women don't really have a voice in the South, and I don't think that that has anything to do with race. I think that it has something to do with being a woman. So, and especially if you're single, you know what I'm saying? I can pretty much pinpoint every single situation where I have been targeted because I'm single. And I think that that's just, okay. A person is already single. So what? But why would you purposely target somebody that's been single, that is single? Probably somebody would target you because they might be interested in you romantically if you're single. But to think of how disgusting a person would have to be a married man to be targeting this single woman with children. That's not something that is necessarily, a crime by law. But for you to socially target a woman because she's single and you're supposed to be a married man, I don't covet men like that. I don't. And I've been targeted twice, not just by him, but by another male that I thought and considered to be a friend at one point. You supposed to be a married man, and because you can't go out and cheat on your wife and have your way with this woman, you're gonna go around and it smells like low lifedness and poverty to me. You know what I'm saying? But for me, you have to be an individual. There's people out there like that. You can't allow those types of people to control your narrative. But yeah, unapologetic Ella, for what I'm looking at as far as in Kansas City, it's about the same. It's about the same. And in fact, when I get back to Kansas City, because I think that there's a lot of people, especially on the internet, and I have to say this, that they felt like I charged too much for my services. And people like that don't have to patron my company. If you feel that I'm too expensive, then don't do business with me, right? Don't do it. I personally don't think I charge enough for what I do for people. So, and that part of it doesn't matter. When you are a entrepreneur and you're running a business, it doesn't matter the area that you're living in or the cost of living in the area that you're living in. I know that there are some people that are in New York that do readings and they charge $200 an hour for their readings. But then again, I know some people in New York, they don't charge that much for their readings. You know what I'm saying? Depends on what it is that you do with your business. You know what I'm saying? So that aspect of it doesn't matter. Honestly and truthfully with you, people really, when it comes to setting prices for a spiritual business, it's all about the results that you get. It's all about what that witch or spiritualist knows about it. What can they do? What is their area of expertise? Okay. Right, exactly. It should be more, but I've actually heard people say, And those people don't really know the value of the services that I offer. Those people can't really judge that, to be honest with you, because they don't know the time that is put into it and what it is exactly that we do. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but I have actually had people, kind of sort of, act like, well, if you move back to your hometown, you got to charge less for your services. And it's like, no, actually, no. Right. So I don't know. I think it's a part of that pocket watching, or people watching other people's money, and they shouldn't be watching people's money. That's one thing that I, for one, do not do. I watch my money. I think if everybody just watched their own money, everybody would be better off. You know what I'm saying? But of course, the people that were attacking me, they were trying to make it so that I would have poorer choices when it came to clientele. So they wanted to present to the public that, well, she's not worthy of having high priced clients, which that doesn't exist when it comes to doing spiritual work. That doesn't exist, oh, I'm a spiritualist that caters to high profile clients. That's bullshit when it comes to the spiritual business. And there was a lot of misinformation that was put out there that have really negatively affected a lot of people subconsciously when it comes to spiritual work. Like, for example, people are less wanting, that people are afraid to do group rituals because they are paranoid about somebody else in the group affecting other people, affecting the other people in the group. And it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. And then in reality, you know as a witch, unless there's something that I did not do for that client case. Hey, LA, how are you? Oh, you so sweet. Hello. How are you, handsome? How's my beautiful sister doing? What y'all doing? I want to, you know what, LA? I want you to cook some of that bacon and that bacon and eggs you was cooking. That looked good. Looked like some down home cooking. I think my baby daddy, that picture that I posted of Frankie on the wall, he was in Michigan, and that boy could cook. He was always cooking for me when he was alive. I miss him too. He would have made the perfect husband. He would have, once I became you know, once I started, not became, but once I found my witchy self, he'd have been perfect for my witchy self. Because he was always catering to me, cooking and everything, cleaning. That boy would cook, he would clean. Oh, okay. But what was I saying? I was talking about something. Anyway, Lamar then came in here being a Casanova. He done distracted me. Um, no, what I was talking, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about client cases affecting the spiritualists. As somebody that has been doing work for people for years, um, you just have to be in tune with your spirit guides. Okay. When I'm working client cases, spirit is going to, tell me what needs to be done for that particular case. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, this client over there, their landlord problems affected me. No, doesn't work like it does not work that. Or somebody's karma affected me. No, no. The only way that would happen as if I literally did not do the work. And there are a lot of people that don't understand that you have to do the damn work. Like right now, if my spirit guides told me, Jamila, you need to banish a spirit or you need to trap a spirit, I would do it. Doesn't matter where the spirit came from. I would need to do it. That's what I needed to do. Oh, nice. You sell plants, sis? Congratulations. What kind of plants do you sell? Just in general? That's nice. That, you know what? That seems like something perfect for you though, because you seem like, the type of person that loves um um foliage and greenery, because you were always talking about my trees and stuff and telling me the different types of trees that was around my house. Oh, oh, that is so nice. I bet you that is so pretty. I love plants. I can't wait to go visit my auntie when I get back home, because my aunt is like that. I can imagine that her house is filled with plants. In fact, I'm gonna call my auntie today because I got to get back to her. That was the one that uh, raised me when I was up until I was 5, and she always has these overgrown plants, like they just grow real long, and and I would always go over to her house and get plant babies and stuff. Well, that is so nice. Girl, you gonna have to show me that because I love plants. I do. I wish I had more where I'm at, but I haven't had the time for that, just dealing with this. Just, oh my God. Is it, if I'm gonna tell you something, if you're renting out a house, please make sure that your house is up to par, up to code, because those code violations may not seem like they're a big deal, but it does literally interfere with a person's entire existence. And, but I walk in the energy of gratefulness and appreciation. So I'm still able to, appreciate, um, you know what I'm saying? Just the whole spirit of this house. But you shouldn't do that to people. You really shouldn't, and then just expect, somebody to, just to pay, and putting them in that position. It really sucks. I've said it so many times, even though Mike would love for people to believe I ruined her life. He wants to be known as a person that purposely ruined somebody's life. And it's like, no, hun, you have no power. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I wondered if my landlord had done that, but when I looked it up, it's still the same owners. Sent you a. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'll go and check it out, Phoenix. I'll go check it out. Did you add me as a friend on Facebook? So anyway, y'all, I've been here for long enough, but I think that when it comes to Mike, I think that he has wore out his welcome. I think that this whole thing with harassing and stalking Jamila in social media proves that he has not had any growth in over 10 years, still doing the same thing. I don't have a friend button. What? That must be my security settings or something. I gotta go fix that. That's kind of crazy. No wonder I don't have very many friends on Facebook. But with somebody like Mike running around here, you got to do that because Mike will sit and create a bunch of damn troll accounts and go and try to add you as a friend from all of them. Like you know what I'm saying? That's how you end up with a bunch of trolly friends on Facebook, is because he's constantly making profiles and then forgetting about them. And then it's just like, oh my God. So he did. I'm gonna take down those pictures of his sister and niece off of my wall. I just did that to him to let him know how it felt. Why is he over there showing photographs of my son? Like he, you know, my son, that's my firstborn. He is so loved, and oh my God, like that's how you can tell. But LA, ain't that how you can tell he don't really have children? Like, I don't believe that dude really has children. Cause okay, I know that we were saying what we were saying last night, but why did he go there? Why was he showing photographs of Ty? Why? What? Like what is? I don't understand why he's doing that. I just, oh my God, it's gonna be nice to get away from him. And he does not want me to get away. He doesn't. He wants me to end up homeless in Georgia, which is not gonna happen. You right. You right, sis. He is jealous of my son. Hey Willie Wise, how you doing? Hello. Hello. You had me in tears when you said that she's worrying little Rico Suave. I was I just that's my little nickname for the little dude, man. It just like, oh my God. I was serious about what I said. I would adopt that little boy. Cause that ain't his fault. Goodness gracious. Is it uh, oh Lord. So anyway, yeah. Well, I think his name is Amir, right? Amir. Hopefully he's not a mirror of her. Good Lord. I don't attack the children. I don't. I'm like the sector's godmother. You know what I'm saying? I love all the kids, okay? And that's just how I am. I don't believe in that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? He is cute, ain't he? Sis, that's what I do. I feel bad for that baby because last night she was like, "Here, open your mouth." The way she said it to that child, like, and she always, always, always shows her hatred for that baby and how she's taken out the whole thing on the baby. And I'll be sitting up here looking at Mike. Mike act like he's got to have some kind of interaction with me. Like he has to do it. For what? For what? You don't have to say anything to me. Wow, Buffalo. Rico Suave, that's Talia's son. Ella, that's Talia's son. Mhm. That is predatory behavior, Ella. And Facebook tried to do something to prevent that from happening because but it's nothing that these folk that do stuff like that, the folk that do stuff like that, it just is what it is. Okay, I personally feel like, hey, sometimes you just got to get adjusted to the world and just do what you got to do. But guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. I gotta go. We all know that he's gonna go live and he's not gonna have anything intelligent to say. He's not. It's always gonna be some kind of hateful, spiteful, vindictive thing, and and I'm tired of going back and forth with this person. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. I don't. Right. Right. She said Well, she ain't nobody's queen. But yeah, she says she's going to the cops today because Phoenix cooked pork chops. And you know what? I'm going to call to the California Police Department and I'm going to let them know what she's doing. I'm still going to do that. Let them know that she's trying to deal with, that's her way of coping with that sector, with the sector, is by calling and filing false reports. It's a false report when you're reporting a roast that Mike did to the police. That's a false report. A false report is reporting something that you're making an assumption about that you didn't actually witness. That's just like we can assume that she's not properly taking care of her son. We can assume that she's abusive to that little boy, but we can't actually report it because we haven't witnessed it really. I mean, well, actually, we kind of have, but what you see in social media, you can't really judge based upon that. But she's got to stop doing that. Sis, you silly. Girl, but what's crazy is that she was dialing 911 and I wasn't even going in on her. I wasn't saying anything to her or Mike. So she wants to be cooked to a crisp. She wants for people to talk about her. They both do. They both do. And when you don't give them any attention, because I wasn't even paying any attention to Mike. It was actually a few days of just peace and quiet. And then next thing you know, Mike is, I'm going to the police. Mike is literally doing all this because he's bored. Believe it or not, he suffers from extreme boredom and apathy. Okay, that's exactly what's going on, and he really doesn't know how to stimulate himself. I've never seen somebody his age that doesn't know himself, right? And he's very jealous of Lamar for having a job. He can say whatever because it don't even make no sense. Like, I've seen attorneys, I've seen people with jobs. They, you know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of different people with jobs. A job is a damn job. You don't even have one of them. You don't even have one job, and you sitting up here trying to down somebody's job, trying to act like you too good to have a job. You know what I'm saying? I've never, and I don't even see how anybody even watches him. I never believed in that. A job is a job. You know what I'm saying? She was just, girl, everybody loves some pork chops, hell, especially if they bread it. She wanted some of them pork chops. That was the problem. Big Emmy Lou face has no maternal instincts. Hey, Jay. She doesn't. She doesn't. Po baby. Like I said, I wish that I could adopt that little boy because I would. I would. I would definitely, because I think that she doesn't give him enough stimulation as far as like the way she talks to him. Okay. Very monotone, and there's a lot of people that don't believe in talking baby talk to babies, which is understandable. You know what I'm saying? But I talk baby talk with babies. Okay. Babies and toddlers, and once they get a certain age, then that's when you have to, start sitting down and talking to them or whatever. But, she just, uh, mm-mm. She don't have no maternal instinct. She doesn't, and for her to brag about being cool with Mike, the number one person, like, Y'all don't realize I've talked to Mike like a whole bunch of times about his behavior when it comes to children. You know what I'm saying? Online, the way that he, personifies himself. It's one thing to make jokes about children online, but it's another thing when you are around those children. You know what I'm saying? It just really says something about a person that would do that, and you've been around children, and it just I'm not impressed with him at all. You right. Ain't she stalking LA? She's definitely stalking Lamar and me. But she'll claim that Lamar is stalking her. I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. And I ain't never agreed with that. I have never agreed with that. I have always consistently sat back and observed, and I've always said that, they just will not stop talking about Lamar. They won't. They will not stop talking about him. Okay. So, and they'll say, well, that's not true. He did a 2-hour show and mentioned me for 5 minutes. And that's why I had to get away from Mike, because Lamar would do a show and he would mention me, and he, before, he wouldn't have anything positive to say. But hell, I mean, he can say whatever he want to say. Like, that's not like, I'm devastated. Lamar said something about me. And it's get a life is what I would say. Get a life. You know what I'm saying? Jamila, why don't you and Young Queen Fire do the j- job jab and run challenge? No, I'm not gonna do any challenge with her. I stay away from crazy people, Willie Wise guy. I don't want to be nowhere near that girl. I'm not interested in being friends with her, because I think ultimately that's what she wants. I no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. I'm not interested in being cool with Talia or Mike. I just wish that both of them would just move on with their lives. I really do. That's pretty much where I'm at with that. Okay. I can't share a space with her. Mm-mm. Truthfully, to be honest with you, the other day when Mike was saying that butt dial, that pocket dial, that video that I have, he was saying, somebody in his chat room was saying it just sounded like a bunch of black people messing around. I said, no, that ain't what that sounded like to me. It'd be different if they was just sitting around talking and being loud, but it was the fact that Mike was pretty much doing the same thing that he does online, which means that he don't just have he tries to act like I just got a problem with a beef with these people online. No, that's something that he's in 24/7. That's something that he's doing 24/7. And I can't be like that. Oh, y'all, it's getting ready to rain now. It's getting ready to rain. I'm gonna go, y'all. I got things to do. Y'all have a wonderful day. I gotta check my messages and see what's up. Y'all, I got a new email address though. I think I'm gonna release it to the public. It's the email. I may or may not. I finally have a professional email address after years and years. It took me an hour to set it up. Um, but I'll say it. It's High Priestess Jamila at divineservicesapothecary.com. So y'all enjoy y'all day too. I gotta get some bills paid. So y'all have a good one, okay? Yeah. I'm not interested in fighting her. I'm sorry, Willie Wise guy. I'm not interested in fighting. I've never been the type of person that fought like that. You know what I'm saying? If I had to, I would. But, just going and looking for a fight, a fist fight or physical fight with somebody, no. I ain't into that. Yeah. Okay, y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all day too, and I will talk to y'all later. Okay. I know you were because that just I don't know. I'll be 47 on the 23rd, and I just you know what I mean. Too old for that. And even when I was younger, I just never been the type of person to do that. You know what I mean? Kind of tend to stay away from trouble. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Okay. Blessings. Bye bye.